Okay, I need you to hear me out before you decide that I'm reaching, because there's a reason why people are suddenly asking the same question. Underneath almost every Salish matter and Yo Angelo's video, are they dating? And honestly, at first I thought fans were just doing what fans always do, seeing two attractive people together and immediately creating a relationship out of thin air. But then I started looking at what has actually been happening between these two lately. Angelo is Salish buying things she likes. They're eating together, they're constantly making content together, they're dancing together, they're clearly super comfortable around each other. And both of them recently came out of relationships. Now, does that automatically mean they're dating? Absolutely not. But here's where things got interesting. There's one detail about the way their relationship has been developing that makes me wonder if this could be more than just another influencer friendship. And by the end of this video, we're going to pull all the clues together and see where Salish and Angelo are actually giving couple vibes, or if the internet is completely clowning itself again. So let's get into. First, we need to talk about the timing, because both Salish and Angelo have recently gone through their own relationship changes. Salish was previously dating Kato, while Angelo was previously dating Jenny, and both relationships eventually came to an end. Now, obviously, people break up all the times, and just because two people are single at the same time does not mean they're automatically going to be together. I'm not saying two breakup happened, therefore new couple, because that's not how life works. But what is interesting is what happens afterwards. Because instead of Salish and Angelo just casually appearing in the same friend group once or twice, they seem to have become increasingly comfortable around each other. And that's where the speculation started. At first, it was just, oh, they're just friends. And then it became, wait, are they together? And now people are asking, okay, but seriously, what are they? And the more content they make together, the more people are starting to notice the dynamic. Let's start with something that sounds completely innocent. Dumplings. Yes, dumplings. Angelo was Salish, these viral squishy dumplings that have been all over TikToks. Now, by myself, this means basically nothing. Friends buys friends things. Friends give each other's gifts. Friends see something funny online and think, oh, Sirish would like this. Totally normal. But here's the thing, it's not necessarily what he bought her. It's the fact that these two seem to have developing this really comfortable, almost effortless dynamic. There's no obvious awkwardness. Now we are doing this because we are filming. They seem genuinely comfortable spending time together, and that's exactly why fans have been picking up on. Because when people start shipping two creators, they don't just look at one moment, they start looking at patterns, and once fans notice a pattern, well, it's over. They're analyzing everything, every interaction, every look, every joke, every TikTok. Every time one of them appears in others' content, that's exactly what happens here. Then we have another seemingly innocent moment, Chipotle. Sirish and Angela have been also spending much time together eating, and again, let me make this very clear, eating Chipotle together is not a proof of relationship. If it was, half of TikTok would be married. But when you combine it with everything else, fans start wondering whether these two are becoming more than just content friends, because they're not only filming together, they're also hanging out, they're eating together, they're doing activities together, and they seem to genuinely enjoy each other's company. That distinction matters, because there's a difference between, hey, we're filming a collaboration today, and hey, let's hang out together. And Salish and Angelo seem to be doing a little bit of both, which is exactly why people are starting to raise their eyebrows. And then we got to the probably the biggest reason people are shipping them, their TikToks. These two have been dancing together, making videos together, joking around together. And honestly, their chemistry is kind of hard to ignore. Not necessarily romantic chemistry, but definitely the kind of chemistry that makes viewers go, wait a minute, because they seem to match each other's energy naturally. There's no forced interaction. They're not constantly looking uncomfortable. They joke around, they play off each other, and they seem completely fine being associated with one another. Now, obviously, curators can have amazing chemistry without dating. We've seen that a million times. And here's the question, what if the chemistry isn't just because they're good friends? What if spending all the time together is actually causing them to catch feelings? Because there's something neither of us can see through the screen. And that's where the whole situation gets really interesting. And apparently, fans are also convinced something is happening. Go through the comments under their videos that you'll see variations of same questions over and over again. Are you guys dating? Just admit you're together. Salish and Angelo need to date. Why do they actually have chemistry? And some people aren't even asking anymore. They're basically announcing it like they're definitely together. And I'm sitting here thinking, girl, where is your evidence? Because technically we don't have an official confirmation. But that's also what makes the speculation so entertaining. There hasn't been some giant announcement, no, guys, we're officially together. No obvious hard launch, nothing like that. Instead, fans are trying to figure it out from their behavior. And honestly, there's always how influencer relationship rumors begin. People notice the little things before the creators even say anything. And this is where I think we need to slow down. Because maybe the biggest clue isn't the giant dumplings. It's not Chipotle, it's not even the TikToks. It's how frequently they're choosing to spend time together. Think about it. If you just have come out of relationship, you might want some time for yourself. You might focus on friends, you might focus on work, you might just enjoy being single. But Salish and Angelo seem to be spending a noticeable amount of time together. And if you're constantly around the same person, talking to them, filming with them, eating with them, making jokes together, eventually you can start developing a different kinds of connection. Does that mean it happened? We don't know. Could it happen? Absolutely. And this is why I don't think we can completely dismiss the rumors either. Because maybe there isn't a relationship yet. Maybe they're just becoming closer. Maybe they're fighting out how they feel. Maybe they're both completely oblivious. Or maybe something had already started happening behind the scenes. And they're simply not ready to talk about it. Now let's put everything together. Salish recently began single, Angelo recently began single. They're spending more time together. Angelo is buying things for Salish. They're eating together. They're constantly appearing in each other's content. They're dancing together. They're clearly comfortable around each other. And fans are repeatedly asking the same question: are they dating? And here's the problem: none of these things individually prove anything. And that's why I don't want you to sit here and tell you they're definitely together because we simply don't know. However, if you ask me whether I think there's at least a possibility that feelings could be developing, I definitely wouldn't rule it out. Because sometimes the beginning of relationship doesn't look like a relationship. It looks like two people who suddenly can't stop hanging out. So after everything we talked about, are Salish and Angelo dating? As of right now, there is no confirmed public announcement from either of them saying they're officially together. So no, we can't honestly call them boyfriend and girlfriend yet. But that doesn't mean the rumors are completely baseless either. The two clearly seem close, they're spending a lot of time together, they're comfortable, and considering both of them recently went through breakups, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this friendship eventually turns into something more. Maybe they're already catching feelings, maybe they're just friends, or maybe they're in that mischievous stage where even they don't know what is this yet. And if Salish and Angelo keeps getting closer like this, I have a feeling the internet isn't going to have to wait forever for an answer. Because eventually one of two things is going to happen. They're going to come out and say we are friends, or they're going to hard launch that nobody saw coming. And considering how invested these comments already are, if that happens, the internet is going to absolutely lose it. So for now, I'm not saying they're dating. I'm not saying they're not dating. I'm saying something is definitely worth watching here. And that was pretty much for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye.